Fluffiest things I have ever seen.
And a fab filling.
Fluffiest things in Fluffyland.
Let's check in on how the weather is looking this Sunday morning. Louise has the details. Good morning. Thank you. More from Louise a little later. It really does. It's we were just having a little chat as well. Sorry. We were discussing whether the weather was good to be out on the beach. It seems not.
On
We'll
this
talk to Louise
occasion.
a little later.
Now, I know a lot of you will know this. One of the biggest challenges of the pandemic has been keeping young children entertained while stuck indoors.
Yeah, well, for one family in Hull, their attempt to engage their 5-year-old son in art had a bit of an unexpected outcome. This is amazing. His work has been selected to appear in a Royal Academy exhibition. Let's take a look.
We love him.
We love Vincent.
He's amazing.
Zebra was definitely my favourite.
I like the pig.
Pig was cool too.
Love it. Well done, Vincent.
Yeah, good.
Should we take a look at the front pages of the papers this morning? At the moment, of course, with the Euros going
Yes.
on, there was the England-Scotland game on Friday night, which was, I think, a thrill for a lot of Scottish fans who were there, keeping them to that 0-0 draw, but for England fans, a disappointment. A slight side issue
Go on.
in the football was Gareth Southgate's attire. Now, if you can see here, the first game he'd worn a suit, about the jacket and polo shirt combo.
I'm not a fan of her.
Played on the pitch,
But it feels kind of appropriate because, you know, the papers are always full of what, you know, the women are wearing at Ascot this week and
true.
things like that. So, you
Bit
know.
of balance. Do you have a
Exactly.
shacket in your cupboard?
I do not. And I shall not be wearing one. I love this story that's in the Times this morning. And we know the pandemic has caused so many changes, good and bad. One, perhaps for good, could be that you can...
And lockdown conversation has focused a lot on what we've been binging in terms of box sets and so on all the streaming services. But apparently now we are reverting back to watching television traditionally, and the big streaming giants like Disney, they cite Loki in particular. It's the Marvel series on Disney Plus. They're releasing episodes each week on that.
Because it
starring
lets you
Tom
build a
Hiddleston.
conversation around it, doesn't it? Rather than everyone being at different stages.
Exactly, and Line of Duty was another one. And then what you get with that is you get the kind of build-up, but you also get all the add-ons. You get the podcasts, you get the kind of, weekly sort of digests of everything that's going on and the speculation that everyone can build into.
I wonder how long that continues when we have a bit less time on our hands as well.
Maybe not.
Maybe just have one evening when I do the whole thing.
Exactly.
There we go. It's 25 minutes past 6. Good morning. And if, like me, you've been into your gardening in lockdown as well as binging on box sets, from window boxes, balconies, allotments, backyards, gardening has had a huge revival thanks to the pandemic, really enjoying its moment in the sun.
What's reserved for those of us of a certain age, it says here, those of us?
That's fine. I'll take that.
More and more young people are developing green fingers. Amy Garcia has been digging around to find out why. From Amy Garcia, and Ben was just showing me pictures of his
I was.
peonies and lupins.
But then you were a bit nervous about scrolling.
Yeah, I
on my
didn't want to
phone.
scroll anymore.
I just get my phone back. It's 28 minutes past 6. Gavin is here with all the sport. Gavin, good morning.
Good morning.
Wales game against Italy tonight on BBC 5 Live.
Yeah, now on Breakfast, so it is time for the travel show. See you soon.
Gosh, a beautiful tribute from James's parents, and we'll talk to the best friend of another of the victims of that attack, Joel, a little bit later on.
Yes, we will. But at just approaching exactly 7:15, Louise has a look at this morning's weather for us. Good morning, Louise.
Now, this is an amazing story about dinosaurs and dinosaur footprints in particular, because these footprints are believed to belong to the last dinosaurs to roam the UK. They were discovered close to the White Cliffs of Dover.
Yeah, a study of the fossils revealed this week that as many as 6 different types of footprints have been identified. So joining us to talk about this is paleontologist in this study.
Well, because
As you say, in this part of the world. And what I find fascinating about this is they discovered these footprints, I think, about 10 years ago. It's taken a long time to really work out what they are, what they tell us about what was happening at that time, and tell us about the diversity of dinosaurs that you've then...
Tell us, and how useful will these findings be in our overall study of dinosaurs, particularly those that were in Britain?
Of paleontology at the University of Portsmouth.
It's 24 minutes past 7. Good morning. A healthcare assistant from Blackpool is learning how to walk again after suffering a spinal stroke whilst recovering from coronavirus.
23-year-old Jess Cook had to be placed in an induced coma and almost died earlier this year. But now she says she's determined to recover and return home from hospital to be with her 3-year-old son. Kelly Foran reports.
Now we're going to stay with sport, and for a full roundup of all the news, Gavin is with us this morning.
A third wave of the coronavirus pandemic is definitely underway. That is the warning from one government scientific advisor as cases of the Delta variant continue to rise.
Professor Adam Finn made the comments while stressing the importance of the vaccine programme in helping to reduce the impact on hospitalisations and deaths. Well, here to discuss it a little more is... let's have a look at what the weather is doing. Louise has all the details for us. Louise, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, we're going to catch up with all the week's technology news. Click has all the details.
And it is Sunday, the 20th of June. Good morning. Here's our top story. There's been a huge surge in coronavirus vaccine bookings by over 18s in England as the government steps up efforts to offer all adults a jab by July the 19th.
Well, it comes as officials in England consider plans to drop the isolation period for anyone who comes into contact with someone infected with the virus, but only if they've received 2 vaccine doses, as Sean Dilley reports.
Labour has called on the Justice Secretary to resign if he can't reverse declining prosecutions and convictions for rape within a year.
Well, earlier this week, Robert Buckland said he was deeply ashamed that convictions in England and Wales had dropped to the lowest level since records began. Well, our political correspondent, Jess. Now, Wales will be looking to secure their place in the knockout stage of the Euros when they take on Italy in Rome later today.
Rob Page's side have all but guaranteed their spot with 4 points so far. So in a sense, I think Wales fans will feel a little bit more relaxed, maybe, this evening because of that draw with Switzerland and that incredible win over Turkey as well. Well, let's speak now to our Wales correspondent, Hal Griffiths. Should be an incredible day in Rome a bit later on for those few hundred Welsh fans that are there. But if you can't be there, don't worry, 5 Live has commentary. Kick off at 5 o'clock this evening for that one.
Yep. Now, for an incredible story. When Matthew O'Toole collapsed on a busy London street 10 days ago, most passers-by were unaware that he was actually having a stroke.
However, thanks to the quick thinking of one woman, he managed to get the urgent help he needed. And we know that in a stroke situation, getting help quickly is so critical. Well, now Matt and his wife Georgina are on a mission to find the unnamed guardian angel who came to his aid. And they join us now.
What an incredible story.
Yeah,
and as you
gorgeous.
said, that they've made contact.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So I hope they're able to have some really lovely conversations, actually. But incredible news.
Have a great day. It is Father's Day today, we should say that.
It is.
And I had to prep the children, obviously, because I'm here. I said, you've got to make Dad his breakfast.
So what state will the kitchen be in when
I
you get
have
home?
no idea. And I said, I'm not sure that we've actually got many provisions in the house
really?
at the moment.
So
it
you
was,
have to be really imaginative.
well, according to my 5-year-old, it was going to be fruit, yoghurt and a sausage. It's a great combo if you haven't tried it.
Healthy-ish.
What about the weather for Father's Day, Louise, for people planning outdoor activities?
Louise, nice to see you.
It is 8:22. England's COVID restrictions were due to be lifted tomorrow. Do you remember that date, June 21st?
Come and
It's
go.
gone now from our
Yeah.
diaries. As that won't be happening for another 4 weeks, this is largely thanks to the Delta variant of coronavirus.
Well, the BBC's Ros Atkins has been taking an in-depth look at the story of that variant. Hello to you. Good morning. It's just after 8:30. This is Breakfast with Rachel Burden and Ben Thompson.
And our thanks to Ros Atkin and the team there for that really fascinating and deep insight into the Delta variant. It's 8:32, so shall we take a look at the sport? So much to talk about.
Yeah.
And of course...
It's just approaching 8:40. Good morning. This is Breakfast from BBC News. Today, a special memorial service will be held for 3 men who were murdered in an Islamist attack in Reading exactly 1 year ago.
James Furlong, Joe Ritchie Bennett and David Wales were stabbed to death while sitting together in a park. Ahead of today's event, James's parents have been speaking to our Home Affairs correspondent, Nikki Mitchell. 8:47, right, time now just to say a quick goodbye to Ben, who's going to the studios to read the news for Nick Robinson on Andrew Marr's show this morning. But before we do all that, 8:47, time for the weather with Louise Lear. What's happening today, Louise?
Morning.
Thanks.